Comments on the show. I'm sure, Chris, you can write your letters to Chris Davis and we'll try to make the show better for you.
Northeastern, don't ask the zip, I don't know.
And it's time.
Survey says.
The price is wrong. For trivia.
And live from the ECAT studios in northeastern Massachusetts, this is Tuesday Triviality. It's December 26, 2023, and I'm your host and trivia master of ceremonies, Tim Poupolo. And it's time for trivia. All right, so Tuesday Triviality is brought to us all by Northeastern Savings Bank. From personal to business and banking and investing services, Northeastern Savings Bank is here to help you grow. Find out more about their services and locations. Visit northeasternsavingsbank.com. So thank you all for joining us tonight. And if you're new around here, you are embarking on a live TV trivia, general knowledge, answers, and questions show. So if you're watching this as a rerun or on demand later on Facebook or on TV, Channel 9 ECAT, you can always play along and watch it like your favorite TV game show. However, if you're watching this live right now on December 26th, you have the opportunity to participate and potentially win prizes. So here's a quick rundown on how that works. For every question I read, you'll have a minute to send in your answers. You can use this, there we go, this handy dandy QR code. So you can pause, take a moment right now to either scan the screen, or you can also follow this. It has been posted on the Easton Community Access TV Facebook page, where you can watch this live via Facebook or live on your cable TV. But when you pull up this easy dandy online answer sheet, you can pull it up in your computer browser, your phone, or your tablet. It's all going into the same place, and no matter how you're watching this, big screen, small screen, even if you're playing on your phone, we'll all be sending it through this one way so that we can get all your answers time-stamped down to the millisecond. Because in this game, you have to be right and you have to be quick. So this is the same submission method all around, no matter how we're watching it. When you have your answer sheet up, you'll notice a couple fields. The two important ones are your name and your answer. Those are the ones that you'll be filling out most often. There's a third non-required field at the bottom for an email. You'll only have to send that in for your first response of the evening. And as long as you don't change your name, we'll be able to reach you with your prize. So you don't have to fill that in every time. Just as long as you're keeping the same name with your answers, we'll be able to contact you. So a bit of a pro tip, because in this game speed is rewarded, you might want to put in your name and email address right now, leaving only blank your answer section right there. And the reason why speed is important is because for every question that I read out loud and appears here on the screen, you'll have your minute to send it in. The top 3 fastest correct answers will get their names added into the drawing for each round. So if you are one of the top 3 answerers for each question, you'll get put into this pillowcase during our commercial break. And when we come back, we'll do our live drawing to see who is each round's winner. Each round will be a different $50 gift card. So there's a lot at stake. But every drawing will still be random. So if you want your best chances, you want to be one of the fastest, most correct answerers for every single question. But even doing that isn't guaranteed, but that is just your best odds of being in the bag, so to speak. So the 3 rounds of gameplay this evening, here are the prizes that we'll be working with. For round 1, a $50 gift card to 138 Dry Cleaners at 447 Turnpike Street in southeastern Massachusetts, where not just dry cleaners, but also tailoring and alterations can be done. So 138 Dry Cleaners and alterations and tailoring, $50 right there. So get ready for your New Year's best with that for round 1. Round 2, we'll be playing for a $50 gift card to the Stone Forge Grill. 10 Roosevelt Circle, Southeastern Massachusetts, Stone Forge Grill. This $50 gift card was donated to us by Doug King Builders, with more than 50 years experience designing and building over 1,500 homes and 50 commercial properties. So that's Stone Forge Grill, $50, that's round 2. And then for round 3 is another $50 gift card to the Farmer's Daughter, located at 122 Main Street in Northeastern Massachusetts. Real fresh local food at the Farmer's Daughter. So 3 excellent prizes, 3 ways to win, 3 rounds, a lot of good fun coming up. So, like I said, play hard, you can max out your chances, see what you can walk away with today if you're playing live. And for everybody, let's keep this above the belt. We're here to see not who's playing along the smartest. We're here to see who has the best collection of useless information. That's the heart of trivia, and that's what we play for. So please, no Siri, no Alexa, no Google. We are here on brain power alone. So we are going to jump right into round 1. For every question, we'll have a 1-minute countdown on the screen, and when that countdown is over, I'll reveal the answer live on air. At that point, it's too late. So make sure you send it in. You could send it in with 1 second left, but that'll hurt your chances if other quicker people came in, even if you're correct. So you got to play those odds of having more time to think or type, and having no mistakes along the way. And like I said, if you put in your name and email address now, that'll help shave those precious seconds. So if you're ready, so am I. We're going to jump right in to round 1. Round 1, question 1 on the screens. What brand of rice markets itself as the San Francisco Treat? The San Francisco Treat. We're looking for a brand of rice for round 1, question 1 right here. And the clock is ticking. So try to think of your rice brands. Rice brands right here. The San Francisco Treat. Who is it? That's what we want to know. It might be in your cabinet. You walk by it at the supermarket. What is the San Francisco Treat? Okay, we got some answers coming in right now. We still have room for another name in the bag. So think about your rice brands. Here we go. Okay, looks like some people are knowing their rices. The San Francisco Treat. Who could that be? All right. Ooh, down to the wire right here. 10 more seconds for the San Francisco Treat if you know your rices. If you know your rice, that is. So here we go. 3, 2, and 1. The correct answer for that is Rice-A-Roni. Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco Treat, where the packaging includes those classic imagery of San Francisco, trolley cars, Golden Gate Bridge. I believe Zatarain's is good old New Orleans treats. All right, so Rice-A-Roni for question number 1. Moving right along, question number 2 at a nice fast pace. What is the largest rodent native to the U.S.? Largest rodent native to the U.S. All right, so we're looking for a rodent right here. So, base of the word rodent, rodent, sort of iron or rusty toothed. So they have those orange buck teeth, but you probably already knew that about the rodents. Some popular rodents you might know might be the mouse or the chipmunk. But what is the largest rodent that we have here in the United States of America? That's what we want to know. It's not the largest in the world. And like I said, native to the U.S., so we're not talking about one that you may encounter at the zoo. We're looking for the largest rodent that you could find in the U.S. Okay, we got some good answers coming in. Good answers. With 10 seconds left. How well do you know your rodents? Aha. Okay. Yeah, so you got to think about the teeth, because that's really what separates a rodent from other vermin, so to speak. But the correct answer is the beaver. The beaver is the largest rodent of North America. They get to be a big, hefty size. The largest in the world is the capybara of South America. Another popular answer was the opossum, which is technically a marsupial. It has more dog-like teeth and not those rodent chisel teeth. So it is the beaver that is the largest rodent that we have in the U.S. Question number 3. Question number 3. Only 3 U.S. cities have hosted the Summer Olympic Games. They are St. Louis, Los Angeles, and what other city? St. Louis, Los Angeles, and what other city is the third and only other city in the United States that has hosted the Summer Olympic Games? Of course, if we're talking Winter Olympic Games, we have more, but just strictly speaking, Summer Olympics, what is the third city that we have that has hosted it here in the U.S.? All right. The clock is running. Okay, we got some answers coming in, but remember, we're talking here Summer Olympics, not Winter Olympics. All right, and I guess this also, I know St. Louis was one of the earlier Olympics that we had here in the U.S., early 1900s. This one is in more recent memory, so dig deep if you can remember right here. Okay, we got some good ones coming in. And that is time. So our correct answer is Atlanta. Atlanta was the 1996 Olympic Games. 1996 in Atlanta, if you remember that. Okay, so here's your next question. Question number 4. Credited as the first rock and roll song about rock and roll stardom, what artist performed the 1958 single Johnny Be Good? Johnny Be Good. You know that one as Go Johnny Go. Johnny Be Good. One of the earliest rock and roll singles and the first about being a rock and roll star. Before anybody else really considered singing about stardom. That's what we're looking for. Who sang Johnny Be Good? Classic rock and roll right here. Okay. And also, fun fact, I believe this was the song that Marty McFly played in Back to the Future. So they weren't quite ready for that, but their kids are going to love it. All right, our clock is ticking. Go, Johnny, go. Johnny Be Good. That's what we're looking for. That was rock and roll stardom right there. Johnny Be Good, 1958. So the early days of rock and roll right there. Ooh, in the last 5 seconds. So get in those answers. Okay, because the correct answer right there was Chuck Berry. Good old Chuck Berry and his guitar Lucille playing Johnny Be Good in 1958. Okay, number 5. Here we go. Cameron Diaz's film debut was as the love interest in what Jim Carrey movie? All right, so Cameron Diaz, she first hit the scene in the year 1994. I guess that could be a hint for this movie. 1994, and she was the love interest that gets together with Jim Carrey, who played the lead role. What movie was that? That was the first time Cameron Diaz hit the big screen. That's what we're looking for right here. Okay, you got some answers rolling in. Answers rolling in. Oh, good. So, yeah, Jim Carrey. Of course, saying a 1994 Jim Carrey movie doesn't quite narrow it down. He was prolific in the 90s. But this was the first movie Cameron Diaz starred in. So it's always fun to do those where they began from. I think we talked about how Johnny Depp was in Nightmare on Elm Street first. And Jennifer Aniston started off in Leprechaun. Two sort of campy horror films. But this one wasn't a campy horror film. It was a campy comedy. With Jim Carrey, the correct answer was The Mask. The Mask. So Cameron Diaz was the love interest in The Mask with Jim Carrey. All right, let's move on from movies to geography right here. A fun trivia question, I think. What is the only U.S. state to have only one border with another U.S. state? So only U.S. state that only has one border with another U.S. state. That's what we're looking for. Ooh, that's right. And Lucille was B.B. King's guitar. That's a correction. Not Chuck Berry. Okay, so we got right here answers coming in. Which U.S. state has a border with only one other U.S. state? Now, you got to sort of think about it, sort of go down the list. You have 50, start checking them off. You know California and Texas touch a ton. We know Massachusetts also borders, 5 U.S. states. Which U.S. state has only one border with another U.S. state? Okay. The answers are coming in. You got to think about it. It's one of those ones that when you hear the answer, you're like, I could have come up with that if I just had more than a minute. All right. Only one border with Maine. Maine only touches New Hampshire, and that's it. I think Florida has Alabama and Georgia. Alaska and Hawaii have no borders with other U.S. states, but it is only Maine that has one U.S. border. So only Maine, and that's with New Hampshire. Okay, number 7. Let's get anatomical. Where in the human body would you find the anvil and the stirrup? The anvil and the stirrup, yes, those are 2 parts of our bodies. But where in our body can you find the anvil and the stirrup? That's what I want to know. So these are lesser known. I'm not asking you where can you find your liver or pinky finger. The anvil and the stirrup. They are 2 parts of our body. There's a third companion to them known as the hammer. So the hammer, the anvil, and the stirrup are all together. And we're looking for what part of our body can you find the anvil, the stirrup, and the hammer? Of course, they also have Latin names, but these common names are a lot more fun to say instead of, where can you find the malleus? The anvil and the stirrup, they are parts of our body. Where can you find them? All right. I think people know their anatomy. That's good. So this is the end of that question's time, and the correct answer was your ear. Inner ear, technically, because there's nothing in your outer ears, but just ear would have sufficed. You got your hammer, anvil, and stirrup, your 3 ear bones, 3 of the smallest in the human body of our 206 bones. There you go. You got 6 of those right there. 3 in each ear. Hammer, anvil, and stirrup. All right, so the last question of round 1. One more chance for you all. Here's number 8. Question number 8. Finalized in October 2018, what actress divorced actor Ben Affleck after 13 years of marriage? So let's see how well you've kept up with the magazines, so to speak, if you have watched your TMZ as well. So after 13 years of marriage with Ben Affleck, what actress and Ben Affleck had their divorce in 2018? And so if you do some backwards math right there, 2018 minus 13, that is, they got together in 2005. So that's a pretty good power couple, if I do say so myself. Okay. So we got our answers coming in. Answers coming in. We're looking for an actress right there. 21. All right, down to the last 15 seconds to name me your best celebrity gossip. Here we go. 6 seconds left. All right, and that is time. The correct answer was Jennifer Gardner. Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck got together in 2005, and after 13 years of marriage, they separated in 2018. I forget what their couple name was. Maybe Benifer. I think it might have been Benifer. But that aside, that concludes round 1. So everybody, that was your top 3 top answerers for each question. We're going to put your names in the bag. And when we come back from this 1-minute break, we're going to have that drawing for your round 1 prize to 138 Dry Cleaners at 477 Turnpike Street. Dry Cleaners plus alterations and tailoring. So we'll see you all in just 1 minute.
Good evening and welcome to another edition of For the Love of Words. After a 3-year hiatus, join me, John Holgerson, and
Priscilla Almquist Olsen,
as we interview poets and musicians.
Could you give the audience a little summary of your background as a child?
When I turned 7 or so, we were car bombed. That stuck out.
And have them share their love of words.
Sometimes I wonder, do you ever think of me?
A thin broth of moonlight caught in the trees spreads across the garden brush, so one side of every stick shimmers while the other sides melt into one another, a mass grave of cherry, pear, and pine.
For the Love of Words at 7 p.m. on Thursdays.
All right, so it looks like we're all squared away. We did it in time, and now what you've all been waiting for, your round 1 winner. And if this isn't you, don't get disheartened. We still have 2 more chances for you to be our lucky winners. So here we go. Number 16. All right, so this goes to Sherry. Sherry, you are our round 1 winner, and round 1 was dry cleaning, tailoring, and alterations at 138 Dry Cleaners here in Easton, Mass. At 477 Turnpike Street. So here we go. Let me just mark you down, and for everybody else, it's time to jump in to round 2. So if you're just joining us after this break, it's not too late. Because the points don't stack up, each round we start anew. So you can always jump right in, brand new, clean slate with this QR code right here. Again, scan it with your phone, or you can visit This Is Also Up even after it disappears from the screen on the ECAT Facebook page that you can follow that link as well. You can play right on a computer browser or with your phone in your hand. Either way, all of the answers go through this right to us. So you'd want to, again, take that second to make sure you have it up. We'll use the same form for every question and every round. It's as simple as that. Once you send it in, you hit submit another response, and it pops back up blank. And if you've already been playing with us, you know what to do. If you're just joining us, remember to put in your email address on your first answer of the evening, just so that we have a way to contact you if you are our next round's prize. So our round 2 prize, just again to say what we're playing for, this is for the Stoneforge Grill here in South Easton at 10 Roosevelt Circle. And this Stoneforge Grill $50 gift card was donated to us from Doug King Builders. So that is what we're playing for. Let's try this one more time. So put on your thinking caps, shake it out. Here we go. Let's put another minute on the clock and jump right in. Question number 1. Question number 1. How many buttons sit atop how many buttons sit atop the valves of a concert trumpet? Specify a concert trumpet because there are like custom-made trumpets that may be weird. There's cornets, which is like a smaller kind of trumpet, baritones and bass tenors. But the regular concert trumpet, you can recognize that in the hands of greats such as Louis Armstrong or Dizzy Gillespie. How many buttons are on top of a concert trumpet? That's what we're looking for. How many buttons sit on top? So just a number. You don't have to name the buttons. As a matter of fact, they don't even have names. They're just numbered. But I guess a better question is, does numbering start at your mouth or the bell? That's the other end of the trumpet. How many buttons sit atop the classic concert trumpet? Whether it's a concert C trumpet, concert B flat, it'll still have the same amount of valve buttons sitting on top. Well oiled and ready to go. Okay. And that's our time. The correct answer is 3. 3 buttons held thusly. 3 buttons right there. But you'll have a tuning slide, a pinky slide, and a thumb slide as well. But those are just slides. And sometimes there is a little 4th button on specialty and custom jazz trumpets. But your regular old trumpet has 3 sitting atop. All right, question number 2. Number 2, What is the state capital of Minnesota? State capital of Minnesota. Nice and easy right there. It's in your brain. Just pull it out. There's no tricky wording for this one. As straight to the point as it can be, the state capital of Minnesota. It's one of those ones, are you smarter than a 5th grader? Okay, we got some answers coming in. People might know their U.S. geography, especially one that I think this one might be a little easier. I'm not going too hard on you, but what is the state capital of Minnesota? Okay, we're more than halfway done with our time. So if you think you might have that in your brain, get it out there before other people do. Of course, the state capital of Minnesota. Okay, we're in our final 10 seconds to name that city. Okay, that is time. Now, Minnesota's home to the Twin Cities. St. Paul is the capital of Minnesota. Minneapolis is next to St. Paul and is part of the Twin City complex. So Minneapolis is not the capital. St. Paul is, but together they're known as the Twin Cities. Therefore, the Minnesota Twins, their baseball team. All right, that was number 2. Question number 3. We're looking for, what is the name of the classic 1939 American film that follows the life of main character Scarlett O'Hara? Scarlett O'Hara is the main character of what 1939 American film? Classic cinema. And if you guessed it, 1939, that's a black and white right there. 1939 black and white film. What movie has Scarlett O'Hara as the lead? Okay. Get some of the answers coming in right here. Scarlett O'Hara. Okay. It's a classic. Of course, like most of the movies of that era that are considered classics, they have been redone. But still, the name of the lead character is unchanged. The only thing that would change, I suspect, would be the year. But the 1939 movie starring Scarlett O'Hara, that's what we're looking for. We're not starring, featuring a character, Scarlett O'Hara. All right, and that is also our time. So the correct answer right there is Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind. I know what you're thinking. Yes, that is a classic. Gone with the Wind, Scarlett O'Hara. Okay, let's get a little musical for question number 4 right here. We're looking for a Hall of Fame solo artist that was separately inducted into the Hall of Fame as a member of the Yardbirds and Cream. So, solo artist, the Yardbirds, and Cream. All those incidences, this artist was separately inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I think that means 3 times as a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer. Solo artist, part of the Yardbirds, and part of Cream. What is the name of this musical artist right there? Okay. We got those answers rolling in right here. Yardbird, Cream, and as a solo artist. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I'm sure it must have been old hat for this particular musician on the 3rd time. But exciting nonetheless to be honored so many times in the same industry. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So how well do you know not just the solo artists, but those 2 mentioned bands below both had one member linking them, and that member is Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton right there. Yardbirds, Cream, and as the solo artist, Eric Clapton. All separate, Eric Clapton, all separately into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for those 3 different ventures. Okay. Next question. Question number 5. We're looking for, what is the name of the French seer who published a 1555 book of prophecies that has rarely been out of print since his death? We're looking for the name of this French seer and a book that has rarely been out of print since 1555. If you thought Gone with the Wind was a classic, I guess this blows the word classic out of the water. What is the name of this seer? And these prophecies, some say it prophesies such things as the assassination of JFK, 9/11, and the rise and fall of Nazi Germany. So, who is this French seer? That's what we want to know. 1555. So that is sort of right there in the height. There we go, the height of some of the Middle Ages. 1555. Or I guess not the height of the Middle Ages, might be a little bit post-Renaissance. 1555. Who is this famous seer? All right. And you may not know what he looks like, but you may know his name. He is Nostradamus. Nostradamus is the name. Of course, when we play this game, spelling doesn't count. So as long as you did your best on spelling Nostradamus, we'll get you those points. I forgot to mention that in the beginning. Spelling doesn't count as long as we can figure out what you're trying to say or who you're trying to say without accidentally spelling something else completely wrong. But I think every way someone wrote Nostradamus, it looked like they were saying Nostradamus. Perfect. Okay, let's get into the realm of science, shall we? Science right here. Through nuclear fusion, the sun is constantly creating what element out of hydrogen atoms? So we're looking for what element is constantly being generated by our sun around the clock through something called nuclear fusion. It's full of hydrogen atoms. It is fusing into what other element? Our good old sun. The closest star to us, big burning ball of hot gas, as I believe Pumbaa once called it. What element is being churned out for millions and millions and millions of years by our sun? Of course, that's a little, you got 118 elements to guess from. If you eliminate hydrogen, which is the gimme here because it uses hydrogen to make this element, you got 117 left to pick from. I'll give you a hint. It might not be a precious metal, so no, it's not making gold or silver, or else we would have been launching expeditions to the sun. But the element it is making is helium. Our sun is making helium, and that's why its voice is so high. Helium is a very simple element. It's element number 2, and hydrogen is element number 1. So that means 2 element number 1s through nuclear fusion. You got helium number 2. Helium is constantly being made by our sun. Helios. Oh, heliocentrism. It all comes from the same Latin root. Okay. Question number 7. Question number 7. What is the name of the volcano in which Frodo is destined to destroy the ring in the Lord of the Rings trilogy? So whether you know this from the movie saga or from the novels, which are much older than the movie saga, the name of this volcano is unchanged. Of course, the real name in the movies, I guess the volcano that they filmed this at was Ruapehu in New Zealand. But of course, we're not looking for you to name that New Zealand Ruapehu name. We're just looking for the much simpler name that it went by in the Lord of the Rings. So Lord of the Rings, multiple Oscars went to this movie series, and it's been a well-prized book series, much longer. Sort of the linchpin of the fantasy realm. We're looking for what is the name of this volcano, the volcano that Frodo has to spend 3 movies getting the one ring to throw it in to destroy it. All right, and as ominous as it is called Mount Doom. Mount Doom. And so Mount Doom is right there in the middle of the land called Mordor. But Mount Doom is the name of the volcano. The journey to Mount Doom. All right. So here we go. One more question, one more chance right here for round 2. Here we go. Gracing the world with the Super Bowl Shuffle rap in 1985, what is the only NFL team to make the Billboard Top 100? I know it sounds wacky that an NFL team actually was on the Billboard Top 100, but what NFL team released the Super Bowl Shuffle in 1985 and actually was featured on the Top 100? So looking for a football team right here. And of course, the Super Bowl Shuffle was all good fun, but would I call it good music? That's for you to decide. Okay. So the Super Bowl Shuffle, we're looking for what football team? So you can just sort of name the team. You don't have to give me any more details. I guess there's many fewer NFL teams than there are elements on the periodic table. But we're looking for which NFL team actually had a top 100 hit. Could you imagine these days if one of our current teams just busted out a single? But that was the reality in 1985. And the correct answer right there was the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears graced the world with the Super Bowl Shuffle. And I got to recommend you give it a listen or a watch of the music video, especially because we have our next break coming up. So in this break, we will tally everybody up and get your names in the bag for our round 2 drawing, which this drawing will be a $50 gift card to the Stone Forge Grill. The Stone Forge Grill right here in southeastern Massachusetts. Good food, good location, and this gift card was donated to us by Doug King Builders. So stay tuned, we'll be right back in 1 minute.
There, I'm Gail Devins, and join me as we discover all the businesses that made Easton great. This is a wonderful, wonderful place. I cannot wait. I want to do it. I want to go there. I am definitely coming back, and I know you will too, because I'm telling you something. It is absolutely amazing in here. What a wonderful way to discover Easton. It's right here in Easton. Showing at noon on Mondays, 2 p.m. on Tuesdays, and 11 a.m. on Fridays, only on ECAT.
And we're back, and we're ready. All right, so everybody that has been playing along in round 2 has had their opportunity and chance to get their name included right here. Again, if you're playing along for fun, you can keep doing that for round 3, but if you're watching this live, you might want to join in just for the chance. So here we go. This is for the Stone Forge Grill. I'll sort of reach down at the bottom here. Okay. Okay. Ooh, answer number. There we go, number 4 right here. So this is for being the fastest person to answer St. Paul. This goes to Jessica. Jessica, I'll mark you down. You are our round 2 winner for the Stone Forge Grill. Stone Forge Grill for being the fastest St. Paul. Whether you were the fastest St. Paul or the slowest Chicago Bears, you had an equal opportunity to be in there. And for everybody else, you still have that opportunity because round 3, this prize is $50 to the Farmer's Daughter. Real fresh local food, 122 Main Street, downtown northeastern Massachusetts. So visit us down here at Shoveltown, just a hop, skip, and a jump away from here at ECAT Studios. So that's what we're playing for round 3. The same thing as rounds 1 and 2. You'll have 1 minute for each question to put in your answers, because then I'll reveal the answer live on air, and then it'll be too late. But if you are just joining us, here's your opportunity again to scan that QR code and join in on the fun to put in your name and your answer. And again, I'm sure everybody that's been playing along so far is already tuned in on to get their name ready to go so that you don't waste any time. So in the sake of not wasting any more time, we're going to jump right into round 3. So here we go, round 3, question 1 on the screen. Which Muppet of Sesame Street reached number 16 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1970 with the song Rubber Ducky? With the song Rubber Ducky, we're looking for a Muppet of Sesame Street. So I guess following in with the unusual Billboard hits, this one is not an NFL team, but rather a Muppet. And what Muppet of Sesame Street sang Rubber Ducky, which actually made charts in 1970. So Rubber Ducky, you may know that song as the one. Rubber Ducky is the one who makes bath time so much fun. Rubber Ducky, I am awfully fond of you. Okay, we are in the back half of our time right here with 20 seconds remaining to name your, I guess, favorite, or we can always just throw in your favorite Sesame Street character, especially when the time is running down. Better to have tried and lost than to never have tried at all. Which Sesame Street character sang Rubber Ducky and received a hit for it? All right, and that's time. The correct answer was Ernie. Ernie. This was his bath time song. You know Ernie as in Bert and Ernie. However, Bert is not quite the singing type, but Ernie is, even in the bath. So Ernie is the Muppet who sang Rubber Ducky. Question number 2. Question number 2. What building is pictured on the back of the U.S. $100 bill? All right, so was it our 5, our 10, our 20, our 50, and our 100 all have buildings on the back. Our $1 bill has one with an eagle and a pyramid, the all-seeing eye, all that Illuminati stuff. But the 5, 10, 20, 50, and 100 all have buildings on the back. Which government building is on the back of the $100 bill? You may know that one is the one with Ben Franklin on the front, making that disapproving face at us. What are you spending me on? But Ben Franklin's on the front. What building is on the back of the $100 bill? So we have our time is ticking along right here. Time is ticking. Okay. I know this one's tough. This one's tough, I guess. You know, it'd be easier if you just had $100 bills lying around. Okay, what? Right here, the correct answer is Independence Hall in Philadelphia. Independence Hall is on the back of the $100 bill, which makes sense having Ben Franklin on the front. They sort of pair those things together, sort of like the U.S. Treasury is on the back of the $10 bill because Hamilton was the first U.S. Treasurer. Some things like that. The White House is on the back of the 20. And let's see, I think the Lincoln, the Lincoln building's on the back of the Lincoln one on the 5. But Independence Hall is on the back of the $100 bill. Okay, question number 3. The Parthenon in Greece was built in honor of what god? In honor of what god was the Parthenon built? The Parthenon, that's what we're looking for. So I guess this is also a good question for if you know your Greek gods and goddesses, and which I use god as in god or goddess. So which god or goddess was the Parthenon in Greece built in honor of? Okay, and we got some correct answers coming in. And we're almost coming down to 20 seconds left. Let me try to think if I can give you a little hint. I guess one hint right here in the last quarter of your time is think about what city it's also built in. The Parthenon in Greece is built in what city in honor of what god or goddess? That's your question right here. Question number 3. Okay, and that's our time. The correct answer is Athena, goddess of victory. Athena You know, that hint I tried giving you is if you went to visit the Parthenon, you'd be going to Athens in Greece. Athens, sort of the home of Athena, which is why they have the Parthenon built there. Okay, question number 4. Moving right along, I think this one's kind of fun. What is Jimmy Buffett nibbling on in the very first line of Margaritaville? Of course, the very first word of the song is nibbling. So, in Margaritaville, what is Jimmy Buffett nibbling on in the first line? You know, he's strumming his 6th string on his front porch swing. And he's nibbling on what? Sort of paints a... There we go. He paints a nice picture right there. Okay. Looks like we have some parrot heads in the audience watching these answers roll in. Yes, he's nibbling on what? And now we got 20 seconds left. It rhymes with watching the sun bake. All of those tourists covered in oil. Okay, Margaritaville is your question right here. 3 more seconds. What is Jimmy Buffett nibbling on? The correct answer is sponge cake. Nibbling on sponge cake, watching the sun bake. All of those tourists covered in oil. Okay, that was your question right there. That was number 4. Question number 5. Here we go in the back half of the 3rd round. Rosie O'Donnell voice acted as the wisecracking best friend in what animated Disney movie? So everybody knows your Disney movies, you have wisecracking best friends and sidekicks to the main character. So this sidekick slash comic relief wisecracking best friend is voiced by Rosie O'Donnell. We're not looking for the name of the character, just the name of the movie. So if you know which Disney cartoon, an animated feature film, had Rosie O'Donnell as a voice actor, that's what we're looking for right here. Rosie O'Donnell, question number 5 right here. Voice acting in what Disney animated film? Okay, we got some answers coming in. Okay, let's see. She voice acted as a non-human character, if that helps anybody out. Non-human character. And who was this best friend? And who was the main character? The main character, of course, would give away the title of the movie. So what Disney movie had Rosie O'Donnell as the wisecracking best friend? And that is our time. The correct answer was Tarzan. Tarzan, 1999, the one with all the good Phil Collins music. Rosie O'Donnell played Turk, the adolescent gorilla, and Tarzan's best friend. So that was Rosie O'Donnell. Of course, he had other great wisecrackers. You got Gilbert Gottfried in Aladdin, Mr. Bean as Zazu in Lion King. But it is Tarzan right there that has Rosie O'Donnell as the wisecracking best friend. Okay, question number 6. A nice, easy U.S. civics right here. Who was U.S. president immediately before Dwight D. Eisenhower? All right, so you might like Ike, but do you like Ike's predecessor? Who came immediately before Dwight D. Eisenhower? So you can think of this as the last U.S. president before the interstate highway system. Who was president before Dwight D. Eisenhower? Okay. And we got those answers coming in. Answers coming in. All right. There we go. Last, so, again, now you're more limited. You got to think about those U.S. presidents. It's clearly not one after Eisenhower, who ended his term in 61. So we're talking the pre-1960s presidents, which limits your options right there. Who was it? Right there, number. For that one, that was our time. The correct answer was Harry Truman. Harry S. Truman right there. So he followed Roosevelt and preceded Eisenhower. Truman. Okay, here we go. Question number 7. Number 7, what South American country has Quito as its capital? Quito is the capital of what South American nation? Okay. How well do you know your South American geography? Since clearly we know our U.S. geography pretty well, so let's go a little bit south of the equator right here. We're looking for what country has Quito as its capital. And as a fun fact, Quito as a capital is, I think, the highest administrative capital in the world for altitude and elevation. So the highest elevation capital in the world is Quito. And in what South American nation is Quito? So I guess if you could do some logic right here, the highest one, that means it is part of the Andes mountain chain, which is on the western side of South America. So it's on the western side of South America, and that Andes mountain chain spans most of that western side. So let's see. Our correct answer right here is Ecuador. Ecuador has Quito as the capital. Ecuador. Why Ecuador is called that? Because that's where the equator runs right through. Quito right there, and the equator of Ecuador. Of course, Quito is just a little bit south of the equator, so south of the Ecuador, so to speak. All right, so now we're on to question number 8. So our last question of round 3. So here's your last chance to get your name in the bag. Here we go. I think it's kind of fun or a little tricky. Deriving from the French word for mole, what is the name of the color that is a mixture of gray and brown? Gray and brown. So you might know your sort of mixture colors. There's a lot of interesting ones out there, but if you know your color palettes well, what is that color that is gray-brown? And if you need any more of a hint of what they call this gray-brown, the word of this color is also the French word for mole. And if you've ever seen a mole, I can only describe them as gray-brown. So mole in French is also the name of what color? What color? So clearly this isn't a color that we use in everyday language, which is why it's a trivia question. It's not like red, but we're talking about one of those interesting colors, and it's got a I guess a French twang to it. What is the name of this French word for mole that is the color gray-brown? All right, that is our time. That is taupe. Taupe is the French word for mole, and taupe is a gray-brown. There's a lot of other good mixture colors. I think we have mauve, which is more of a, it has purple in there, sort of a purple, pink, gray sort of mixture. But that gray-brown is taupe, which doesn't look good in too many things, but it may be good for drapes or upholstery. Taupe. Okay, so it looks like we've got our answers in. We got everybody who's playing sort of tallied up. And when we come back, we'll be playing for our round 3 prize, which is a $50 gift card to the Farmer's Daughter, located at 122 Main Street in Northeaston, right here, downtown Easton. Real, fresh, local food. So I'll see you all in 1 minute with your round 3 winner. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to Service Matters, a weekly radio show that talks about the good things that are happening in local communities and beyond.
Since 1978, the Eastern Food Pantry has been dedicated to providing food to our neighbors in times of need. As long as there's hungry people in our community, our doors are open, our hearts will be open to help.
We also like to talk about the good things that people do to make a difference, and in many cases, to make dreams real for folks out there in need.
Just to chat about, as you say, some of the good things in life. There's some of the good things, the great things, and the happy things.
And certainly watch us on ECAT, Eastern Community Access Television.
And we're back. All right. So I know everybody's been patiently waiting. This round 3 prize right here is for the farmer's daughter, $50. Real fresh local food. So thank you all for coming out with us tonight. Without any further ado, let me reach into the bottom of this bag, get another good one, a lucky one we'll see. Okay, number 18 right here. This one for being the 3rd person to correctly say nibble it on sponge cake. This goes to Dave W. Dave W., you are the proud winner of the Farmer's Daughter $50 gift card. So Dave W., congratulations. Congratulations all around. And thank you for everyone who played with us tonight. You can join us next month on January 30th, another Tuesday at 6 p.m., 6 to 7 p.m. here on ECAT for another episode of Tuesday Triviality. Catch us live, play along, win prizes, because if you're not live, you can't win. But of course, you can have fun playing along at any time. If you like this and other programs on ECAT, don't forget they can't do it without help from viewers like you with sponsorship or donation. So if you'd like to help ECAT out with a donation, just go to eastoncat.org and look at the bottom for a donation link. Again, this week's episode was brought to us by Northeastern Savings Bank with 16 locations, northeasternsavingsbank.com. So thank you to Northeastern Savings Bank for bringing this episode to the masses. Thank you for everybody who played along. This has been another edition of Tuesday Triviality, live on ECAT, only on ECAT. Keep that curiosity. I'm Tim Poupolo, and take care, everybody.